Shalom, brothers and sisters. Um, yeah, well, um, I'm just. I just shared this morning about the principle. About the principle. A Christian with the word without the principle, that Christian is not going to survive. It's not going to survive. Christian with the word without principle is not going to survive. Does not have what it takes to survive. If we have the word, we do not have the principle. We don't have anything. Let me make an example. Think of a born-again Christian who does not have a principle. And then hear about the grace of marriage, grace of marriage. And then Satan is very clever. Once he hears that there is something you are expecting, he provides the counterfeit. Once he knows that there is something you are expecting, he provided the counterfeit before the original come. Now, because the Christian has no principle, he hear about the grace of marriage. This sister hear about the grace of marriage. And then Satan send just a mere somebody who's coming to just be a boyfriend, nothing else. Non-believer, even sometimes some of these believers who are not living in the will of God. He sends them. And then this sister dated this guy, and then they sleep and they get pregnant. You know how many times that thing has happened in a church where the sister is pregnant by a brother, maybe from different denomination, but it happened. And then after that, you don't hear of any marriage, but they part ways. Do you see what happened is, if the sister heard about grace, but was founded on her personal principles of life as a Christian, she would have been saved from the calamity of being destroyed in the name of grace. If she had a principle of life, she would have been saved from this calamity of being destroyed in the name of grace of marriage. Because one of the principles will be, I don't get into the car with the male person alone when there is no third person. That's a principle. Or, no, you don't get closer than 1 meter to me. We can talk there at a distance. And 3 is, you don't touch my body unless you have seen my pastor. Do you see, these are principles. Okay, you say you love me, go and see my spiritual leader, my pastor, my spiritual father. Let us discuss that with my mother in the Lord. You see, those are principles. If the lady hear about grace of marriage but does not have principles, it's bound to fall. It's bound to fall. Principles safeguard us. They safeguard us. I can pick any other. For instance, if a Christian who's unprincipled hear about the grace of a job, and then later she get a call that, can you come for interview? If we have a principle, the principle that says, everywhere where I am called, I got to be there 30 minutes before time. 30 minutes before time. If there is a founded principle of anyone who is a Christian, then he will not have an issue of traffic on the way and hectic on the road and all those things. They will not be there, because he's got a principle that every time, wherever I'm going, I must be 30 minutes early. It's a principle. So now, whenever there is a traffic on the way, all others who are coming for that interview are stopped by the traffic on the way, but this one is there early. And, first impression counts. The employer see this one is early, but everyone else during the interview time are not there. First impression counts. So that it's more likely that person to be employed if has all the minimum requirements and is there in time. What's the use of having all the minimum requirements? You are late the first day. So obvious, once you sign the contract, you'll be late every day. So the employer is a reasoner. They are thinkers, these people. So do you see the principle? I can pick many other examples of principle. If we are Christians who only know the word and fantasize about it and tell people about the word and the glory of the Lord and all these things, dance around and speak in tongues, but no principles, we will speak those tongues for 10 years without any change. We're going to speak those tongues for 10 years without any change. I mean, the grace need us also to be principled. In simple terms, a principled person is someone who's founded on the scripture, who set up the rules for his life based on what the scripture say, not personal principles outside the scripture. And then you obey those principles. I got my personal principle as a pastor. That's why I cannot fall in the trap where I saw my brother who's a pastor fell on. Where I witnessed my brother who's a pastor fell on. Cannot fall on those traps, because my principles safeguard me from such kind of traps. No, I'm not better than that friend of mine, but that's my point, is my principles safeguard me from such kind of traps. So I'm just making examples here that I think are educating us easier in this area of Christianity. Our sisters are hearing about receive your marriage, but every time they get fornicators instead of getting married, they get a boyfriend who come to fornicate instead of marriage. Others who are principled They get the boyfriend, they say to the boyfriend, no, you're not going to touch me now. Go and see my spiritual father. Go and see my mother in the Lord. You're not going to touch me. Everything will be connected via my parents. Okay, you told me you love me. It's fine. I accept that. But we cannot continue anything. Let us see our leaders. You see, that's a principle. If all girls will do that, they will survive these lying boys. Even these lying boys who speak in tongues. I've got so many lying boys who speak in tongues. They sleep on top of our children, but they speak in tongues. They pregnate our children, but they speak in tongues. We've got so many of them. Now, that one, it's everywhere. Find them. No matter how good the church is, you'll find one or two if the church is big. As long as the church is big, you'll find one or two over there. So, if our girls will build the principles around their lives, they will survive a lot of traps. Principles are powerful. Marriage without principle, even if you get it by grace, you're still going to lose it. Still going to lose it anyway, because principles are not only safeguarding what is promised, they are also maintaining what we have received. Principles are not only safeguarding what is promised, they are also helping us to maintain what we have received. Shalom. This is your brother Ngosina Zwane of PhD Mission of our Lord Jesus Christ. This is the early motivation. Shalom.